You watch me get sued one day for that because she's so sued.
She's psycho.
She is.
Okay, well, everyone, welcome back to the Reel It In podcast. We have a really exciting episode today. We have my sister-in-law, Qualie, joining us on the podcast.
It's me.
We've officially started Kaytee's maternity leave. As you hear this on Friday, she still hasn't had her baby, but she's to the point where she could go any day. And like the podcast is like the last thing that she wants to think about.
Of course.
I've never been pregnant, but I can only imagine.
That's terrible.
And assume. Qualie has. She has 2 kids, so.
Yeah. I did it twice.
And her pregnancies have been
so bad.
Terrible.
To the point of, why would you do it twice?
Yeah, I don't know if we're doing it a third. Have you decided that?
I don't think so. Makes me sad, but no. Financially, physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Your marriage might not survive a third.
I don't think I would survive.
Yeah. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Qualie would be
still
a widow
with us.
at what? What year is it? 2026? He's going to be 26. He's going to be almost 30.
Don't even say almost 30 because I'll be 29 this year. 29?
I feel like that's just 29. I feel like that's just different though because you're an adult, right? Sometimes I look at my husband and I'm like
Which, okay, you should know Qualie's married to my younger brother, Jake. Both my brothers are my really good friends.
Yes.
But I feel like Jake, I was like, correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, but I feel like you came to me for advice a lot more than EJ did because he
still does.
Yeah.
Let me call my sister.
Which is so flattering to me because he thinks that I have good advice, but why? Respectfully,
I know.
Why does he think I have my shit together? Because I don't.
Why? I don't know. I don't know. It's just
like I said, flattered.
Yeah.
We're happy to be here.
Does he listen to the advice and take it? Not once. I don't think he ever has.
No.
Maybe
once.
Maybe when he hits 30, maybe. We love him.
No, we do love Jake. I know you're listening. We do love you.
Love you so much.
Wouldn't want to do this life without you.
Same.
I feel like that's not something a wife should have said, but I'll say it as your sister. I'll say that too.
Well, I wouldn't be doing this life without him. Who knows if I'd probably be locked up in the slammer.
You'd still be in the trenches.
I would have went from military school to jail, probably.
Which, here's the thing about Qualie's probably one of the most interesting people I've ever met because she just comes from a very different background than I've ever experienced.
Yes.
Which I'm blessed, #blessed, to experience those things. But talking to Qualie, I think is just a really great reminder that
everyone
has a different lifestyle and an upbringing, and you should be just grateful for what you have.
Yes.
And can parents be shitty? Yes. Can siblings, families be shitty? Yes. But if you still, I think for me, this is my biggest takeaway when I talk to Qualie, whenever I talk to her, and we'll get into that, but whenever I talk to her is, if you still have your family in your life, be grateful.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I get away from that.
Yeah. Even if it's I don't even know. We don't talk every day. Me and my brother, we don't talk every day.
Yeah.
Recently he's just been calling me because he got a girlfriend or whatever. And so he's
he
been
needs
calling
advice.
me. I know. It's been. Anyways, I'll tell you later what he says. But anyways, we never talk, but now that we have started talking a little bit more, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful because at the end of the day, and this is sad, but it comes to everybody dies. And it sucks when you're facing that and it's somebody else and you're like, I should have, I wish I would have, I could have, but you can't.
Yep.
So it's just, life's what you make it.
Right.
So let's make it rock.
Let's make it rock, in the wise words of Hannah Montana.
We love her.
Let's get into that a little bit, Qualie, because Qualie had, obviously, you grew up with your parents, right? They were parents. And then at what age did things starting to change? Did you notice maybe your upbringing was different than other people's, or you could just see that something was like
my family's different.
Yes.
Like my parents aren't like yours.
Yes.
It was probably when I was in Young Women's, actually.
Okay.
And
which,
like
Young Women's, for all of our non
yes.
LDS members, listeners, is just basically it's a church group for the youth girls to get together and like have activities and stuff. Just
like based in the church, but then you also get out and do things with your friends and all of that fun stuff. But probably then, because we would do, like, you know, in Young Women's, like, other people will do the activities, like, you assign certain things. Yeah. And, like, other moms would be doing, like, great, extravagant things and, like, always having treats and stuff like that. And like, gifts. And, like, of course, we didn't have a lot of money. Right. But then I, like, kind of started to boil down to the point, it's, like, it doesn't matter if we don't have money. Like, I'm having to come up with all of the ideas and, like, figure out how to execute all of these plans. Yeah. When I feel like they include the parents in it for a reason. Because, like, what are you, like, 11?
Yeah. Like, they're at 12, basically. Yeah. The youngest you are there.
Yeah. And so it's, like, then I was like, okay. And then, obviously, like, the fighting. Like, when other people, like, talk about, like, their fights and stuff, like their parents fighting, it was like, oh, we like heard mom and dad screaming about this and that and the other, but it was like, no, they were always fighting. And then I also realized it was a problem when I was always at my friends' houses and I would never let them come to my house. Because first off, my mom is a hoarder. She doesn't clean. She's very gross, very yucky. And then I had an alcoholic dad. So it's like he would fly off the handle like that at anything. And so then I started to realize, like, this is no, like, and I like to be at my friend's house because I'm like, oh, like, we're having like family dinners and we're like, your parents are there with you. At my house, all growing up, I was in my room, my sister was in her room, my mom and dad were in their room watching movies together, and then my brother was playing video games. Like, we were never together as a family. We made dinner, you would eat it in your room. Like, we weren't
really,
we never did that. And so it was so weird. Like, hearing Jake like get off the phone with his dad and he's like, I love you. I love you.
which
that's like,
I've realized not every family does that. No. You could be super close and you don't do that. But like I come from a family of like, I say goodbye, I love you to like everybody. Yeah. That wasn't, I say that to Qualie. I say that to my other sister-in-law. Like, no. And everybody.
Like, and not like saying this like badly. Like, I do think my parents loved me, but like it wasn't like hugging. Yeah. It wasn't like that's why I'm weird about it.
See, like, and again, I come from a family of huggers.
Your mom always tells me, I know you don't like this, but I'm going to give you a hug.
Because that's what we do. Like, I don't know.
I didn't grow up like that. Like, affection wasn't a thing. And then, like, leading on down the road, obviously it makes sense now, but my parents never had affection for each other. So we would never see it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, if it did happen, my mom would just brush it off. So, yeah.
Okay, so, like, 12, 13 probably, which is crazy because like I come from a family, right? My parents did fight, like I heard them fighting, but like it wasn't all the time, if that makes sense. Which they still fight. I mean, if you're married, I hope you fight. I hope that's normal. I'm not married, but we go the rant. Just kidding. We don't condone violence though. We don't condone, hey, Taylor, Frankie, Paul, we don't condone it.
Put your stools away. Can we actually put those away? I'm just kidding. You don't have any.
Which, that's a heavy topic. We're not going to, I'm going to say it, though, really quick. I'm sad that they didn't air her Bachelorette season. Me and Qualie are both really sad about that.
That was going to be messy.
It was, and I was there for it.
I know.
They have to go and ruin a good thing. That's whatever.
And then who knows about season 5, but.
Yeah. But I haven't even watched season 3 or season 4, but. Yeah. Who knows? Anyway, Kate, let's go back to the topic at hand.
Jake's going to be like, get on topic.
He hates when we do that. He's like, why do you do that?
He hates talking to me for this reason.
I said, because I'm a woman.
I know. There's so much to talk about.
There's so much. Okay, so that happened, right? Okay, so Qualie, as she said, she mentioned you went to military school.
Yes.
How old were you when you went to military school?
16, just turned 17.
Okay. So this is the craziest. Like when Qualie told me that she went to like, because here's the thing. Let's back up and kind of explain like you coming into my life and like where you were at when I met you, because one thing about my brother Jake is, like, he had girlfriends, which was very different than me and my older brother. EJ, my older brother, had one girlfriend that turned out to be his now wife.
Marley.
Yes, we love Marley.
We love her.
High school sweethearts, right? So, like, that was good and dandy.
Yes.
Me, 0 boyfriends.
That's okay.
Still keeping that streak strong.
They're the worst.
It's fine. But so then Jake, right, he'd had all these girls or whatever. I do remember there was one time I was at Snow College, my freshman year. He drove his girlfriend at the time all the way down to Ephraim. I swear, it's 3 hours, people. Like 2 hours and like at least 2 hours and 45 minutes, if not 3, to get there. And he shows up, and I was like, oh, hey. And we sit on my couch. I swear he was there for 30 minutes total. And
which
then
is
he
such
was
a long way to drive
out of there. And I was like, okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Which I was like flattered that he came down. That was so nice. But like,
it's probably because like what you do around here is you drive around.
Yeah, you just drive. Like,
yeah, so it literally was like nothing to him.
Yeah. So anyway, to be fair, like I never really gave, because he had so many girlfriends, like I never really was invested in any. Yeah. Because like they came and they went. And
you're like, oh, they're not gonna last.
They were young. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm not seeing this going anywhere. You know, whatever. Sorry to all those girls. I'm sure you're lovely now. Actually, I'm not even gonna say that because I don't know anything about you. You could be awful.
Well,
Jake had questionable taste in women. I'm just gonna say that now. Qualie found Qualie, and I was like, wow.
But in the beginning, it was questionable.
I was questioning it because he tells me, oh yeah, I'm talking to this girl. I said, oh. And I said, yeah, I wrote her letters. I said,
is she like a felon or something?
I was like, you wrote her letters? Why? I was like, does she not have a phone?
It's like, what is that, like love after lockup or something?
Well, I didn't even know at the time when he said that. I was like questioning, like, why are you, like, does she not have a phone? Like, is she in the Amish community?
Is she like Mennonite?
And so then she was like, no, she's at military. She was in military school. I was like, huh? Because I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but like growing up, my parents would sometimes like, if you don't shape up, we're going to send you to military school. Like it was a threat. I don't even think they looked into it. It was just a threat. So like in my head, I'm like, no one goes to military school. That's just fake. That's just what parents tell their kids to like make them shape up.
Yeah, exactly.
I met someone that went to military school.
We can insert pics.
You went, you guys.
I did.
I was like, Jake, what did she do?
What the heck?
Like, what did she do to get to military school?
Did she kill someone?
I literally was like, huh? Yeah. Just tell them what do you care if you share what you did?
Okay, not at all.
Because if I remember correctly, I don't even remember what you did, but I was like, that's it? That's what people do every weekend, like here. Like, that's not a big deal.
Yes, initially it was, which I think about this now, and if my kid ever did, I would murder them. But
you can send them to military school.
Oh, I've got the hookup. I don't even care. Like,
no,
go. You are on speed dial on that list. Like, no.
My old commander's there.
The commandant, he's waiting for you. No, what it was. So it had led up to a lot. Like, I was going out to parties with my friends. And then it also, like, it was fun because I was partying. But then it sucked because I was the only kid at the parties not drinking and not smoking. Okay. And, like, not doing that. And so then one night, party got busted from the cops. Whoop, whoop. Love that. And so then...
Those damn pigs.
Yes, exactly.
Just kidding. We backed the blue.
We backed the blue. You were my first call if I need help.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so they called my parents and they were like, if your parents don't come pick you up, you have to go to like what is it, detention center or something like that? Like for kids.
Like, what is it? Like juvie.
Juvie, yeah. And so I was like, cool. Okay, call my parents. They come. And I had obviously, like, I had snuck out. I had lied to them. Like, that is terrible. You should not be doing that. Don't do that. You should not be doing that.
Yeah.
But then I just remember how my mom never believed me when I told her I was not drinking and smoking. Like, I was like, I know it's terrible. I lied to you and I snuck out. And also, like, we lived in Idaho. We were in Utah. We were here in town. So, like, I went states away with people that I shouldn't have been with. Very
states away 30 minutes.
Yes.
Let's not get crazy. 30 minutes.
30 minutes. And so like I was with people I shouldn't have been with. But I just remember I was telling her I wasn't doing that, and she was like, "You're lying. You're such a liar. I can never believe anything you say." Which I was like, okay, I understand now. Like, obviously, because I had been lying to you. But like, I am telling you, I am not doing that.
But
and
also,
so,
like, I guess, like, to a point, like,
yeah.
Yes, you lied about sneaking out, but like, did she have any evidence of you like drinking? Like, did you come home hungover?
No.
Like, that's the thing is like, she probably could smell it on you, maybe the weed. But
well, yeah, and even my dad was mad because when the cops showed up, they ended up breathalyzing all of us, and I blew zeros, but I still got in trouble because I was like around all of the alcohol. Like I still got a minor in possession ticket, but I blew zeros, and my dad was so mad because he was like, "You never do that without an adult present," and I was like, "I don't know, a cop just said here, did this, and I did it." Like
because you weren't drinking, you had nothing to hide.
I had nothing to hide,
and so like the alcoholic, don't do it.
Yeah. Hello. Like what? And so, anyways, and like the cop had told them that like I blew zeros, but I was still there. I got in this ticket, like you can go to court, blah, blah, blah. But she was just like drilling me that I was such a liar, and I like they couldn't believe anything I said, and she was so disappointed in me. So I was like, okay, well, screw you. If you're not going to believe me, then I'm just going to do it.
So you did. Like, then you started doing it.
Yeah. So I was like, if you're not going to believe me, and when I'm telling you the truth, then I'll just do it. Yeah. I don't care because I'm going to get in the same amount of trouble.
That's fair.
And so then I started drinking, obviously, not like heavily. Oh my gosh.
She's not an alcoholic.
No. Like just at these parties and stuff like that. And then the one time I smoked weed, the first time I ever smoked weed, I peed dirty. And then my mom was like, you're either going to that school for girls, like that religious school for girls. Yeah. And she said they'll pick you up tonight, or you go to military school and you will leave in 2 weeks. And I said, F you. If you're sending me away, you have to live with me for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I made her life hell.
Well, I would have too.
I did. I was like, sorry, I don't care. Never went to school, ditched every single class, like would go home and like sneak into my house, into my bedroom. So she didn't know I was home. And then she would call me. She'd be like, where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? She would go to my friends' houses. She would go to all the places I would hang out when I wasn't there. She'd get even more mad.
You were at your house.
And I'm like, girl.
Right under her nose.
I'm chilling in bed. I'm literally right under her nose. Her office was like almost above my room.
Oh my God. If any children are listening to this,
do not do this.
Don't do this, okay?
I will personally send you to military school myself.
Listen,
do not do this, please.
Military school does not sound fun.
No.
So don't do it.
And everything that you're thinking it is.
Yeah.
But like kind of worse though, because I don't think people take into like the aspect of like showering, how you have to shower with 7 other people at a time.
All the people.
And you have an adult watching you shower the entire time. You can't shave. You don't get to shave. So for almost 7 months, you don't get to shave.
No armpit shaving?
You can, but they give you 1 minute to shave your legs and your armpits. But I was like, I'm rinsing all this conditioner out of my hair.
That's fair.
I'm not shaving.
They timed your showers?
Yeah. And you are only allowed, and if you are bad, you get time taken off of your showers.
That's the last thing I'd do.
Yeah, and you get time taken off of calling families home, like your phone call to home. But you can only shave your legs and your armpits. That's it. If you get caught shaving anywhere else, you get in big trouble.
No way. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So basically, after you get caught, which, like I said, drinking, smoking weed, that's what you got sent to freaking military school for? That's crazy. Which I'm not saying I condone those things. I don't think you should do those.
No, it is so bad.
Under the age of 21. But people do that.
Yes. And I was with so many friends that were doing the same thing. Obviously, I was partying with them, sneaking out with them, like doing all this stuff, doing adult things that you shouldn't be doing with other people when you're that young. Because what if I got pregnant? Like, you're so stupid for that.
Right.
But also, if you like look at the lifestyle that or like the family dynamic that I grew up in, I feel like it just makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
It just makes sense.
How could you? Here's my thing of like coming like from some place, like coming from a family where like I have 2 like functioning parents that are like, you know, I come from a loving home. Period. You know, not saying that you weren't loved, but like
it's a different.
There weren't rules, I guess, to their love. Like it was an unconditional love where they only loved you if it was conditional is what I'm trying to say. It was, you had conditions, and if you weren't meeting those, they didn't love you. It feels like that's how it was, which I still feel like that with your mom today.
Oh, 100%.
We'll get into her mom also. That's a whole other thing. But so basically, how long were you at military school?
For 6.5 months.
That's so crazy.
I went the beginning of January, and I came home the middle of June. Yeah, like towards the end of June. 11 hours away.
Yeah. Top of Idaho,
basically. The very top. Like, when we got to go out and do things, we went to Washington.
Yeah. So, like, that's the thing. So, I don't even want to get into, like, the whole details of military. Like, it's terrible.
It's what you think it is.
You had a 6-pack of abs because you were working out all the time.
You work out every day, like, for, like, 3 hours a day, an hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half after, like, school, because you go to school there, obviously.
Yeah.
And then it's even more on the weekends. You have to do service to community, because a lot of those kids come from jail, and they have community service hours that they have to do.
Yeah.
So it's everything that you think it is.
So, yeah. So, you go there for 6.5 months. Basically, in the way I look at it, is like your mom just didn't want to deal with you, so she shipped you off. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other way to look at that, because
no,
for the thing that you did,
yes,
that is a really extreme
measure,
like consequence, in my opinion.
Yes.
I don't know about anyone else that's an actual parent out there, but like my parents, let's just say this, my little brother did these things in high school, and he did not go to military school.
Yeah. And it's also like it just shows the different parenting styles, because I feel like we kind of came out the same, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we learned the same lessons. We see it all the same way now. And it's like, I had to go through such, like, drastic measures, because I don't think not my dad, I think my mom didn't want to take the time.
Yeah.
To dig down and be like, why are we doing this? What's going on with you? But, like, your parents were like, what's wrong with you? Like, let's figure this out. There's something. Like, yeah. And so it wasn't just like, ugh, we're done. Like,
I can't speak to my brother's, like, I don't know his full experience. I can only see what I saw from my side of things. And, like, what I saw was that my parents just wanted him to, like, succeed,
be successful,
like they wanted to set him up and go, like, down this right path. I'm like, to be honest, like, when I was a high schooler, like, me and Jake did not get along, because, like, I was really, like, I had this mindset that, like, if you drink and you smoke, you're a bad person. Which I think that's just, like, where I was raised. Like, that mentality is, like, very much just, like, how it's just prevalent here, like, in Utah. Like, that's just, like, the way people think.
That's how it is.
And so, like, going to college, I got this, like, understanding of, like, oh, it doesn't mean you're a bad person, it just means you're choosing a different lifestyle.
Yes.
And so I feel like I came back with, like, more understanding, and so, like, I think me and Jake kind of bonded over that, of, like, nah, dude, I still love you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, like, your mom is such a complex individual. Not really, actually, but I just think your mom is, like, probably the most selfish person I've ever met.
Me too.
Like, I think that's really what it, like, all this stems from, is, like, she didn't want to take the time, because she didn't want to have to take time away from herself.
And she didn't want to, like, I think it all boils down to is she didn't want to see what she was doing wrong.
Yeah, because it really,
she can't do anything
I really
wrong.
think that, like, at that point, it, like, comes back, like, if you're choosing to do those things, like, there's got to be something. The dynamics of it, like, has to be, like, playing a factor, right? Because you were running away from your problems at home. That's really, like, what it comes down to it. And what were those problems 100%. At home? Your parents' relationship crumbling, not feeling like a safe environment, basically.
Yes, and being like, well, I'm always in my room by myself, so why wouldn't I go out and be with, like, people that want to be around me? You know? Yeah. So, like, that was rough. And then, so, like, when I met Qualie, like, she had just gotten back from military school. And, like, I remember, because, like, when I got home and Jake started bringing her, because he didn't bring you around right off the bat. Like, no,
it was a while.
We didn't start dating right off the bat.
No.
Because I had, like, really, like, found myself and found exactly what I wanted. Because the purpose of military school is to literally break you down till you are a shell of yourself and build you back up with structure. And so I had learned the values that I wanted to live and the life that I wanted to have and the goals I wanted to achieve and how easy it was to achieve it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, a lot of my problem is people, like not like people like boys and like friendships and relationships that I have that are not healthy.
Yeah.
So we didn't start dating right off the bat because I was like,
Which again, I think stems from your parents not seeing a healthy relationship there all growing up. So then I think the first time that like, besides the military school thing, like that was like the first time that I was like, huh, this girl's what? Like she grew up way different. And then like the second time I remember this, like I still remember this vividly, and I think about this often, like when it comes to Christmas.
Yeah.
Qualie's first Christmas with my family, like you had not been dating Jake that long.
No, because we started dating like almost in the beginning of like July-ish. Yeah.
But you said you got home at the end of June.
No. Oh, wait. No, I remember. Back up.
Okay.
I remember why.
Like, this isn't...
I remember why I was like, we didn't start dating off the bat. Because I had come home and then we started talking when I came home for those like 5 days. And then he was writing me the letters because we got together 6/26/18. That's what it was.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was my first Christmas with you guys.
Yeah. So, Jake didn't start bringing you around, I think, until like probably August.
Yeah, I don't even
remember. It was later. And then you have to remember, I was in college.
Yes.
So, like, I wasn't around all the time.
No, we didn't meet for a long time.
Like, I didn't meet you for a long time.
No.
I knew of you, but, like, I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I actually remember meeting you for the first time, and I made a joke about, I was like, Qualie? Your name's Qualie?
Qualie?
And I said...
What the hell?
I said, what? Was your, like, parents' favorite bird a quail? And you go, actually, yeah, my dad's favorite bird's a quail. Me?
Yeah.
So sorry.
For real. Be so for real.
Okay, foot and mouth. Perfect. I'm just going to see myself out.
It's fine.
It's all in jest. It was fine.
It doesn't matter.
Qualie secretly has a grudge held against me from that moment on. She actually is like, I hate this dumb bitch.
You would know.
You're right, actually.
You would know.
Right.
That first pregnancy we had together, I say that as if you're the father, it was rough. I was not a nice person. I'm not nice when I'm pregnant. I'm not nice when I'm pregnant. We went to a
hockey game, and I thought Qualie was going to rip every single person in my family's head off.
Oh, yeah, because I was so sick.
You were so sick. Yeah. And I was like, we didn't know at the time you were pregnant. You hadn't told us. No.
Yeah.
I swear. Oh, you...
Because Marley knew, and Marley was like... Because then we'd gotten the suite, and your mom was like, we got the suite so you can lay down. Because I was so sick.
I just remember being like, Qualie's being such a biatch. Like, what is her problem?
Oh, my gosh. And every time anyone would walk past me to go to the bathroom, I was like...
Every time we walked past, she was like, I literally was like, she's going to beat somebody up. I was like, I got to get out of here.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Back to the Christmas thing. So, like, this was, like, one of the first times, like, I think, like, you'd come to my house. My parents were wrapping, like, we were wrapping gifts. Yes. I remember.
Yes.
It was, like, pretty close to Christmas. Like, if not days before Christmas. Because I was home from school.
Yeah, it probably was days before Christmas.
And I was helping my mom wrap presents, and I just remember Qualie being like, who are all these presents for? And I was like...
The family?
I was like, what are you talking about? I literally was like, huh? Because one thing you need to know about my family is my mom's and dad's, both of their love language, I would say, is gift giving.
100%.
100% gift giving.
Yes.
They eat it up. Which,
yes, they do.
I mean, I love it too, but...
I mean, okay.
But yeah. And so we're sitting there wrapping, and she's like, who are these for? And my mom goes, well, for the kids. And she's like the grandkid, the one singular grandchild. Yeah, I was
like the whole family. Like, you have got like your sisters, like aunts, like your aunts. I was like, everybody. Yeah, like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah, like, because, like, you know, my parents, like, got gifts for, like, me, my two brothers, you know, Marley.
Me.
And then, they'd got some stuff for Qualie, okay? Like, a couple things, because she was going to come to our Christmas.
That's crazy.
Qualie's like, wow, that's a lot of gifts. And my mom's like, really? At this point, I think my mom's thinking, like, I still don't think I have enough. Like, my mom does this every year.
She does, Christmas morning. Oh my gosh, I should have got that.
I should have been,
that? She does that so bad.
And I'm like, Mom, no, I think you've got plenty. Mm-hmm. Well, then Qualie tells us this story about how she's like, we didn't really do gifts. Mm-mm. Like, and I was like, wait, what are you talking about? You didn't do gifts?
Mm-mm. No.
And she's like, yeah, like, I think the last gift I remember my parents getting me was ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles. And I remember it so vividly. I remember, like, the smell of the house. And, like, when we were little, obviously we got presents. But as we got older, it started to be Oakley got more presents. Because she's handicapped. So she's fine.
Her sister has spina bifida.
She's not mentally handicapped.
Yeah, she just is in a wheelchair.
She's fine. She knows how to twist she's my mother. Anyways, and then it started to turn into, like, Oakley got a lot of presents. Like, I remember one year, it was probably, like, double that year of gifts, and they were all for Oakley. Yeah. And then that one time we had the sacks. My parents didn't wrap gifts, so we had the sacks, and I pulled out. It was, like, so empty. I was like, dang, maybe there's, like, expensive stuff in the bottom.
You're, like, holding out hope.
Yes, I'm like, maybe there's, like, expensive stuff in the bottom. And I pull out ramen noodles, and I said, oh, thanks. And it was chicken. I'm a beef girl.
Oh, no, I'm a chicken girl.
I'm a beef girly.
Beef, that's crazy.
I pull out chicken, and I was like, oh, okay. And my dad literally looks at me, and he goes, are you not grateful? And I was like, sorry, Christopher. No. Like, I'm not. They said, you got this probably from the pantry.
The dollar store.
Like, what the heck? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, and I don't ever remember off the top of my head, because you can always recall, like, gifts you've got for Christmas, you know, and, like, your favorite ones. I can't remember anything other than those ramen noodles.
See, and that was, like, so, like, after we have this conversation, right, like, my mom and I are sitting there wrapping gifts, and I'm like, I'm such a biatch. I need to be grateful.
This girl, like, grew up in a shack.
Like, I literally, like, I am picturing the worst thing in the world. My mom, I, like, wanted to cry. She's telling me this story because I'm like, what? I can't even imagine a world where that's real.
Yeah.
So, literally, the next day, my mom's like, we got to buy Qualie more gifts. Me? Okay.
No.
So we did. We went and bought some stuff. I think we got you like some earrings and like some like a nice jacket. And you did not have to do that clothes.
Because I was used to getting nothing.
But Qualie, like, Qualie shows up. We have these things wrapped for her. She's like, oh my gosh. I remember you being like, huh?
What? That's so weird.
They've been dating for not even 6 months at this point, or maybe like, 6 months.
Whoa.
So. Just things like that, like, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Literally blows my mind. Mm-hmm. I'm like, here's the thing, is like, Qualie, the next Christmas. Let's talk about the next Christmas. Isn't that the next one?
No.
Was it 2?
Because it was 2020.
Oh, okay.
So, was it? No.
When did you move in?
It would have been 20. It would have been the next Christmas because 2019, I was 18 years old.
I was going to say, I feel like it had to have been the next Christmas.
It was the next Christmas.
Because were you living with my parents at that point? You still were, right?
Yes.
You moved into my parents' house.
Because I was going to Dale Young.
You were going to, like, finish high school.
Yes.
Which is, again, my mom would never be like, yeah, of course. Move in with your boyfriend's parents. Your boyfriend actually doesn't even live there because he's in Caldwell, Idaho.
Literally. She's like, just come with me.
Just come live at my house. Huh? Like,
I think about that. If crazy. If, like, Eli came up to me and was like, Mom, can my, like, girlfriend, like, live with you while I'm off at school? I'd be like, no. Get this bum-ass bitch out of my house. Like, no, are you going to pay me child support for her? No.
Yeah, but, like... my parents were like, yeah. Like,
yeah, your mom said as long as she goes to school, I don't care.
Yeah. Which my mom ran a tight ship. When it comes to school, you're going to go to school.
But that was good. I needed it, though.
Yeah, you did need it.
Yeah, I needed that.
Which is like, I do remember you moving in and being, I was like, number one, I was weirded out by it. Because I was like, what do you mean she's moving in?
I was so weirded out by it,
I was like, you're not, and I think I told my mom, I was such a brat. I was like, she's not living in my room.
Do not let her in there. Fast forward to a couple years later, and I did live in your...
You lived in my room, but it's fine. No, but she's like, no, she's going to be in Jake's room. Like, it's fine.
I didn't think about it. But then, like, the situation that I was in, because I wasn't even living at home before that.
Yeah, where were you before?
I was at my aunt's house, my mom's sister.
Oh, my gosh.
And
I actually, for some reason, why did I go to that house?
My birthday.
It was your birthday.
Because my mom had, like, gotten mad at me because she was like, you never spend any time with us. You're always with your boyfriend. So I'll meet you in the middle and we'll have your birthday dinner at your, like, my aunt's house, my house.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Because, like, she was like, we're not going out. we're gonna make dinner. And
I remember that's why I was there, and I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, it was freaking
and
weird.
I think that's when I like when you started living with my mom, I was like, first I was like weirded out by it, but then I thought about that birthday dinner. I was like, yeah, live at my mom's house. What are you doing?
Yeah, and so that whole situation, because the father-in-law was breaking into the house and smoking weed and blaming it on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was a whole thing, and Jake was like, just moving with my mom.
Which I'm telling you guys, like, this literally sounds like a plot line of like a movie.
Yeah, no.
Real life, it happened.
No way it happened.
Yeah. So you're living at my parents' house. Mm-hmm. I come home for Christmas.
Yes.
Which at this point I was in Logan.
You were in
I think
Logan.
I'd been in Logan the whole time, actually. But yeah.
I don't remember.
And then you literally get a call. Was it Christmas Eve or when was it?
It was, so Christmas Eve is the 24th. So it was either December 21st or December 22nd. And I didn't get a call. But me and Jake were fighting that day. We were sitting there fighting. And it's like, I can't wait for you to get in a relationship to when you like go over to see family and you guys are fighting and you have to act like you like each other. But you don't. You hate each other. You don't.
Yeah, I can't relate, but...
So I get a DM because my mom had blocked all of my dad's family on my phone plan. So I couldn't call them or anything. So I got a DM from my aunt and she said, you need to call me. It's about your dad. And I was like...
Right, because, okay, actually, before we just go into this, remind me the family dynamic, like, because your dad and your mom were like working on getting divorced, right? But when did they start trying to get divorced? Because they were separated for a long time, right?
Yes. It was months prior to Christmas.
Of the same year, though.
Of the same year, of 2019.
Okay.
They had been trying, I think he had probably been out of the house for maybe like 3 months-ish.
Okay.
Because he wasn't in the house at all when I was living down here going to school.
Yeah.
So it had been months.
Okay.
So I had gotten the DM, call me, it's about your dad. And I was like, okay. So I go downstairs to Jake's room.
Yeah.
And I was also like, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. Like,
right.
We probably were fighting over something so stupid. And so I go down and I call my aunt on Instagram. And she's like telling me, she said there has been an accident, but it's not been like a car accident. Your dad had a seizure at grandma's house because he was living at my grandparents' house. Your dad had a seizure and they life flighted him to Portneuf in Pocatello.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay. She said, you like need to come. You need to come.
Damn.
Yeah. She said, call your brother and come. And I was like, okay. So I texted Jake and I said, come down here. And he comes down.
I think we're all at the house at this point.
Yes, everybody was there. Everyone. Like even Paul. Yeah.
This was before Paul was no longer a part of the family.
Yes. So we're all there, texted him. He comes downstairs. He's looking at me like, what? And I look at him and I just lost it. And I just remember I like looked in like, well, I got up and I had given him a hug and I looked at like into his soul and I said, I don't want my dad to die.
Yeah.
And then I told him what was happening. And then he instantly, the little mama's boy that he is, goes, Mom! And we go we walk up the stairs. He hides me from everybody from the living room so you can't tell that I've been crying.
I remember just being like, they're being weird.
Yes. We go into, he's like, sit on her bed. Hang on. Your mom comes in. We tell her what had just happened, like the phone call I had. And she was like, well, are you going to Pocatello? And I said, yes, I'm going to go right now. And she looked at your brother and she said, you're taking her.
Yeah.
Go. Bye.
Yeah.
Leave. And so then she said, just 1 second, because it was close to Christmas. We were probably having like a family Christmas party.
I think it was a family party of some sort.
And so she comes out.
We always find an excuse to get together.
I know. She comes out and she like tells you guys kind of what's going on. And then I'm walking out the house and I just remember like that feeling in the room. It was like so sad and so quiet. I don't think anybody said anything.
No, we were so
and
like,
then
oh my gosh.
We hear this dumbass voice. Sorry, drive safe, from Paul Qualie. And I was like, thanks, Paul. And he was literally wearing his red sweatpants.
Yes, he was. His pink ones? Yes. Or red, pink?
Well, they were red at this point.
Oh, okay.
They were still red.
They were still red. Okay.
Yes. And so, anyways, we left to get there. My dad's, well, and I called my brother and I said, do not call Mom.
Yeah.
Because Dad's family is there with him.
Right.
So I said, don't call her. We get there. Jake stays in the truck. We had gotten to Pocatello probably, like, what is it, like an hour away from here?
Yeah.
We'd gotten there within, like, I swear it was like 20 minutes. I swear.
It probably felt like that. It probably was. Knowing Jake, I know he probably sped, so it's probably like 40.
Probably, and I don't even know if we talked the whole time. I do not remember driving up there at all. I just remember he just like dropped me off because like at the entrance, because that's not something like your new boyfriend needs to walk in to see.
Well, he'd been dating him for a while, but also Jake's not like the one you're gonna take in there, because Jake's not the best at that. No offense, Jake, but you know you're not the best in a crisis.
Well, and that's also like, I think he had met my dad probably twice.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of just like a sensitive area.
That was, well, and also I just feel like it was like, you know, you need to be with your family, like, and it was just like one more body in the room, kind of thing. So
walk in, he's on life support. And it's just a whole mess with my mom's family and my dad's family. My mom kicked his family out of the room, said, leave, which you can't be here.
Is crazy to me because you literally wanted to divorce this man. Like, you wanted nothing to do with him. You had another boyfriend.
Well,
at this point.
Yes. And like, she had affairs when they were married, and they only got married because she was pregnant with my brother.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very, looking back now, like being in my own marriage, it was a very loveless marriage.
Yeah.
But like from her side, like my dad did love her.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. So anyways, did the whole thing, kicked them all out, said that they were going to hell because they killed their son and all this stuff. And I'm like, whatever. And then we went to the meeting of the doctors and security, my dad's doctors, and they said legally we have to give him 48 hours for brain activity since he's on life support. If there is no brain activity, then we can pull the plug. Like, we can be done. So we're like, okay. It was a huge fight and stuff. My mom is screaming at my dad's family. My grandma's hysterical, obviously. She's thinking.
Her son is literally...
Well, she watched him die on her living room floor.
Yeah.
Watched them, like, resuscitate him. And so she's hysterical. My grandpa's just trying to calm her down, keep my mom off of her. My uncle, my mom's brother, moves my mom out of the room. She's saying some terrible things. And then the doctor looks at me, my brother, and he said, since they are getting a divorce and your mom served your dad papers, and since he has kids over the age of 18, you two have to decide what's going on. And my brother, ever since we were little, he's been so weird with death. He hates it. If we would go to funerals, he would freak out and someone would have to leave like the chapel with him. He couldn't be there.
Dang.
And so he said, I love you, but this is on you. And he also told me, he said, I think I would do this for the wrong reasons because they did not have a good relationship. And so he said, I will be here. Which is actually
like pretty big. Like big of him to do that. Yeah.
And so he said, I'll be here for you. I will listen to you, but I can't do this. And so then that morning, Christmas Eve, the doctor called and he said, there's no brain activity. And I said, perfect. I'll essentially rally the troops and we'll be up there and we'll be done with it.
Yeah. Because
like, we're not doing this.
And didn't you tell me that like your dad, like you had a conversation?
Yes. And I don't remember when we had this conversation ever. I don't remember how old I was, where we were, why we had this conversation. But I can like see him, and I remember so vividly him saying, I do not ever want to be on life support. I will not be a vegetable.
Which, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you could even tell, like, seeing him, because they had to put his body in hypothermia, but he was still having the seizures from, like, the alcohol withdrawal and everything. And so he was just having little seizures, and he was, like, gray in bed. So you could tell he was
like, it was just not good.
He passed away at my grandparents' house.
Like, his spirit was basically gone. Like, the body was still there, but, like, his spirit was gone, basically.
Yeah.
Not to get spiritual, but, like, I've seen
you
that.
could
I know
literally tell,
about.
like, the life left his body.
Yeah.
Like, he was not there. Mm-hmm. And so we just gathered around the room. We had that shit-ass Qualie there.
R.I.P., by the way.
Dateline. Can we tag them in this?
No, maybe? Seriously, you guys. When we start telling you, this might be a long. You're gonna shit. This might be a long episode, and I'm sorry for that. But like, buckle up because this is like you think this is bad. Buckle up.
This is the beginning.
Anyway, yeah. So
we're in chapter 1.
Literally, prologue.
Yes. So, anyways, he's there, and then the nurse was like, "I'm just gonna finish doing final cares," which is like he was like intubated, so they're like cleaning, doing all that stuff. So they did that, and then she's like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, ready. And then she said, okay, 1 second, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go let the doctor know. But I had watched her, so in the ICU, it was the nurse's station was right outside of the door, and she just sat there and she cried. Then she comes back in, she said, are you ready? And I was like, yep, we're ready. She said, okay. So they unhooked him, and then they just like gave him a bunch of morphine, and it was just done. It was done.
Which, hearing that, like, you're 18 years old, having to decide to take your dad off life support, basically saying goodbye to your father, like, even though you feel like his spirit's gone, but like you physically have to see his body like pass away.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
You're in the room when that happens.
Yeah.
How, like, I feel like I'm a strong person, but like, dude, if any of these things happen to me, you would literally see me out in the street dead. Because there's no way I'd be strong enough to like deal with that.
No, and it was like hard because yes, I grew up in like a hard house, but I've always been a daddy's girl.
You had a better relationship with your dad.
Oh yes, yeah, 100%.
And you always felt loved by him.
Yes, he was my mom and my dad. He was everything wrapped in one for me. And so it was really hard, but it's like, in the movies when like a bomb goes off and it's just like the ringing.
Yeah.
That's all it was, and just like tunnel vision. Just watching him turn like green.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't even know how to like explain that color unless you've seen it.
Yeah.
Like green, gray, yellow. And like talking to my brother about it, he just watched like his neck stop pulsing. But it was just that. And I do remember before, because I got to call all the shots and I had to make a schedule of when my mom could see him and when his family could see him.
Again, you're 18 years old. Let's remember that, you people. Yeah. Like, that's what, okay.
It's like I had turned 18 in September. September.
She's barely 17.
So I had been 18 for 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like my mom was doing all this stuff. I don't even know. And so we were talking about like the end of life stuff and like the schedule. And I said, we will say goodbye and be done, pull the plug. And then my grandparents, they will come and they will help clean him up and get him ready for the mortuary to come pick him up. And so before that, I said, I get to have 5 minutes, though, by myself, alone. Because my mom had also been in there the whole entire time, just not even to be a spouse, to tell him how much she hated him, how much she hated what he had done to us kids, how much she hated the life that he had made for them, how much she hated the addiction that he was making us live with and live through. Like, she never said one nice thing. And then
in this room that he's, like, dying in.
Yeah, she sat there and would sit next to his bed. And I remember one time, this might be really upsetting, but she would sit next to his bed and she would just say this. And then the one time I was sitting at the end of his bed and I was just watching him, like, just like so like dazed and confused out of it, and she went up to his ear and she whispered and she was like, I effing hate you and I hate everything you have effing done to me. And I was like,
how did you not strangle her?
I literally was like,
that's insane
at this point. And then like my brother had to drag her out of the hospital because she was screaming at them in the waiting room, and his sisters were there. His brother doesn't even live close. He had flown in to like see, like, it was terrible. And so I went in and I had the 5 minutes and I just said, thank you for like the life that you gave me, the life that you're leaving me.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for like making this, because like who knows what sacrifices he's made to like help me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, thank you for like making all of these sacrifices to help me and my life. And now looking where we are now, looking back at that, dude, it's crazy.
Well, and like I'm getting a little emotional just because like your dad left you so early, but like the amount of miracles that I've seen, like, since he's been gone to now, like, it's in your life, crazy. I'm like, holy cow. Like, it's insane. You can't deny that, like, there aren't angels on the other side, like, helping you. Because it's literally insane. And also, like, I'm sorry, but, like, you're literally, like, I'm not kidding when I say this, like, one of the strongest people I've ever met. Because, like, you still got up and, like, carried on.
Yes,
that would be a lot of like people's reason to like give up on life,
and a lot of people do.
That's where it ends for them.
A lot of people do, because that is terrifying.
It was awful,
so scary to be like, my dad, I don't even know how to put this like any more blunt, my dad is dead.
Yeah,
I will never get to see him. I will never get to talk to him. I will never get to have his input. I will never get to have his help. He won't be there for my wedding. He won't be there for my babies.
Yeah,
but my dad ended his life so I could live my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy.
Which, like, is, in a way, like, probably the best thing that he could have ever done for you. Like, in like, I don't mean that in, like, a rude way. No, but it is so true. It is so true. Because he would not be able to, and just with, like, the alcoholism, he had also, from being an alcoholic for so long, he had so much damage to his organs and everything. He would not have been able to help in the ways that he wanted to, and that would have hurt him so badly. Yeah.
And I remember when I, like, went and said my goodbyes, I tried to have my sister come because she wasn't 18, so she couldn't get in the ICU without somebody else that was 18. She came in, just kind of cried and left. And then the people called for organ donation. And the lady was talking to me. She said, I like need your name and blah, blah, blah. And I told her, and she starts crying. And she said, I'm so sorry, honey. I said, it's okay. It is what it is. And she was like, we had the doctors like kind of do their thing, because they obviously did like an overall thing when he first got there to see what was bad. He had cancer, everything was failing, like everything was so bad.
Yeah.
And so she kind of told me like, okay, what do we think about like eyes? What do we think about like this, that, and the other? And I said, it's just really bad. And then she like was still crying, and she said, yeah. And I said, this might be so selfish, but I'm kind of happy that it's as bad as it is, because I want my dad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have my dad, so I want all of my dad.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I can have him right now, because I will never have all of my dad again.
Yeah.
And she just said, that's okay.
Yeah.
She said, that's just fine.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So basically, like, you say goodbye to your dad. Mm-hmm. That chapter closes in a way. But then, like, dealing with your mom post funeral, like, I just remember you like talking to me about this, like just the way your mom was like acting like so possessive over your dad's like belongings and like just the way she was like treating like you and his family. Like it really is like so appalling to hear this. And like I hope that she listens to this podcast and has some self-reflection, because like the way she handled that is literally insane.
And we like know, I called her out for it recently, and her like comeback was, you don't know the whole truth. Well, then you need to explain the whole truth, because you are looking really bad in this situation, because you left the hospital with the man you were trying to cheat on my dad with. And when I brought it up to my dad, I got in so much trouble. I got crucified saying that I was a liar and I was a terrible person and I was trying to ruin their marriage. You left the hospital with them. And I will say, I strongly believe this though, but it was such a dark time that I don't really remember, but she never called, she never texted. The first time I heard from her after my dad died was she called and said, do you want to go see your dad at the funeral home? And I said, no. She said, why? I said, because it's a dead body. Yeah, well, you've seen him. Like, yes, I said, I seen it, and I do not want to see my dad like that. I can't do that. Yeah. And so she said, well, they have him, your grandmother and your aunts got him all dressed up in his temple clothes, so he looks nice. I went and seen him, and I just said, no, I don't want to see him. And then I didn't hear from her again, and then I heard from her when she asked me if I wanted to, like, give a speech or, like, talk at the funeral. And I said, no, I'm not doing that, just because like I think it is beautiful and all the people that stood up there and talked about him is great, but like our story is our story. Yeah. And like I don't know, that's just like a lot of things that I just want to keep to myself. Well, and not even like keep to myself, like I like, you know about it, everybody really knows about it, but people that are close to me, because you know that I'm a very like,
well, I just feel like even this story, like this isn't even like what we're sharing isn't like explaining about like this like the things you hold near and dear to your heart, like those experiences, like of like I'm sure you have like multiple hunting stories that like memories and that, like I don't think that like you have to like, he knows that you still love him even if you didn't get up there and like speak about him in his funeral.
Like,
you
don't have to do that.
I don't think it shows that like you're any less of a good daughter for not doing that. And honestly, like that's a lot to ask for, like, especially if there's one thing, like, speaking at a funeral, like, when it's their time, like, they're old, right? Like, they've lived a full life. They saw it coming. Yes. It's completely different when, out of the blue, he's dead, and I'm 18 years old.
And it was, like, I also had felt, like, I had already taken on so much responsibility of having to do the organ donation and having to set up the schedule and set up the times and set up who could do this and who could do that and like the pulling the plug and all of that. I just didn't
like
want
and like the corresponding between like your mom and like his family, like that whole mess, basically being like the mediator between the two, and like that's not and I
didn't need to do that. No. And I also, if I would have got up there and said the things I needed to say, I just would have been a mess. And I don't like crying in front of people. No. I hate that shit.
Qualie never cries.
I hate it. Jake held me once, and it was when I was ugly sobbing, and he just held me and let me cry.
Which you need to. It's healthy to cry.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do it because I didn't need to be strong for anybody else, but I need to be strong for myself.
Yeah. Well, you didn't really have like a support system like to lean on. Like,
no.
I mean, you do now. And you did. I mean, you did back then, but like it was still so new that like
it was hard, and it also was hard for all parties because like how is your mom supposed to approach that?
Well, and that's the thing is like
it's really hard on everybody. Like it's so hard.
Yeah.
And then it's like hard like when we got married because I didn't have my dad there, and then it was like for your dad who has stepped up to the plate and been my dad.
Yeah.
And like did that even after my dad died. Like we weren't even married, but he just stepped up and took all of that responsibility. But it was like hard for the wedding day because like I felt like there was also like what is she gonna ask of me? Yeah. What is okay for her? Like how am I not gonna overstep, you know?
Yeah. And that was like I think that was like really hard. Not hard, but like I just know my parents like wanted to be like as respectful as possible.
Yes.
Like through the grieving process, and like also like your wedding, like not just assuming that like you're gonna like
and
ask
then,
them to fill these roles.
Exactly. And then it worked out because we had talked about your dad walking me down the aisle. But then I was like, well, I'm going to have one of my dad's best friends do it. Like, that's who I feel is right myself.
Yeah.
And then miraculously, I swear it happened. I swear on my life it happened. That ceremony invite card got put in that envelope for his best friend to walk me down the aisle. And, like, I had texted him, like, hey, can you do this? I called him, like, we had talked. He said, yes, I would love to. And I said, Kay, your invitation has that ceremony card. Swear it got put in there. It didn't.
Oh, no.
So, like, 20 minutes before the ceremony, I said, hey, Phil, are you here? He goes, no. I didn't get the ceremony card in my invitation.
Which Phil, why didn't you call?
Also, Chris, playing games. And so I was like, oh, it's Eli.
Yeah.
It's Eli. He's going to be there. And, like, that was also the thing. It was, like, not even like, oh, my gosh, where is he? It was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
it wasn't, like, it wasn't detrimental. I don't remember you ever being, like, a bridezilla.
No.
The thing about, like, your wedding, like, again, not to bring your mother back into it, but, like, we're going to talk about her a lot because she's seriously a creature of her own. But, number one, like, she was not even involved even a little bit, in my opinion, in the planning of the wedding.
And then, well, she didn't even want to pay for anything.
She didn't want to pay for anything, which my parents, like, thankfully were like, that's fine, like, we can do it.
She only bought my dress, and that was it.
And you basically forced her to do that, like, against her will.
Yes, and what set her off was because we weren't using the florist that she wanted to use. So she said, well, then I'm just not going to do anything if you're not going to do what I want.
Respectfully, in, like, traditional weddings, like, the florist is, like, usually the man's
his
responsibility.
Family. Yes, that's what set her off, and she just decided she wasn't going to pay for anything. So, like, your parents then really stepped up because that was probably a financial burden. It was. It wasn't probably. It was.
I mean,
and it was hard, but they stepped up and took it as parents and were like, "It's my kids. Yeah, like, why would I not do this for my kids?"
Right. Well, and then I don't know. I just remember, like, I just can vividly remember we're setting up for your reception the day before your wedding, and your mother and your grandma, like, come storming in, and, like, your mom is just being, like, the biggest raunch I've ever seen, and I'm like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, hey, welcome to the party. Don't lift a finger.
And I wasn't there because the spray tan girl could only get us in that night.
And no one was complaining that you weren't there.
Yeah. Even Jake was like, it's fine.
Like, we knew the vision. We had talked about it.
Yes, we had talked about it. We had everything planned to a
truly,
T.
Qualie was like, not like, she's like, I don't care. Like, no, well, she's like, Sherry, what do you think?
Yeah, because I was like, me and Sherry have such a, I feel like, aligning views on decor. Yeah. So I was like,
she's got it. Which my mom is, like, really good at that stuff anyway. She's so like, great she has such an eye for it that, like, and also, like, my sister-in-law Marley, like, both of those, like,
oh my gosh, dynamic duo. Both of the, like, not even just, like, the decorating, but, like, the, like, florist skills and everything. Yeah, like, it just all turned out so beautifully. So well.
And, like, but she comes in and she just, like, starts, like, bitching and moaning about all these different things. I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah. And then her grandma.
Oh my gosh.
I will never forget this.
My mom on steroids.
Yeah. She says to my aunt, What did she say again?
It was at the wedding. Not even setting up. It was at the wedding. And she pulls her aside and she said something. And she goes, well, don't you know Qualie's a liar? And then she like laughed as if she was joking and walks away. And poor Julie's like...
my Aunt Julie, the sweetest soul ever.
I know. She's like...
She didn't know what to say.
I know. And I remember they like left or whatever. My mom called me and she's bitching to me. She said a bunch of stuff, but I don't remember what it was. But I remember this one thing. She said, I thought that your dad's chair where like your dad sits was going to be in the very back by itself. And I said,
because they did a chair that says like,
yeah, a memorial chair.
Wish we were like, if you were here today, like whatever. Like, yeah.
And so I was like,
why would that be in the back?
Why would it be in the back, you dumbass? And so I was like, well, like if he was here and walked me down the aisle, you think he's gonna walk all the way back down the aisle and sit down? No.
He's gonna be right there.
And this dumbass bitch had the nerve to say,
I don't even know if I know this.
Let me look at the camera. She literally said, I just don't want to sit next to an empty chair. I don't want to walk down the aisle without my dad.
Oh.
I don't want to get married without my dad. I don't want to have kids without my dad. And I literally screamed at her. I said, you had your dad for your wedding. You've had him for your kids. You've had him for every crisis in your life. I don't, and I have to figure that out now. So that damn chair will stay right there.
Oh my gosh.
And then she never said anything about it. She literally had the nerve to cry. And I was like, you're crying? Grow up. Like,
in my opinion, like, it's just performative at this point.
Yes.
To because there were people there, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like to show that like she's a doting mother when like reality, like you were barely there for any of this.
No,
like
you're no.
Like and it's like time and time again she does this, and then like you get pregnant and like we have a baby shower. Does she plan the baby shower? No. Like my family plans it. Like, which again, we are more than happy to do.
Yes.
But then like what makes me the most mad is like you are totally capable to be there for your daughter. Like you are totally capable, and you decide to walk in.
Yep.
As Qualie, remind you, like Qualie had the worst first pregnancy. Like she had a feeding tube, so was so sick. Like for
it was
months.
so bad. I couldn't get off that damn couch that Larry and Julie have now.
Yeah.
Kimber, if you're listening, she probably knows the hole that I'm talking about. I left a hole in that couch.
No, Qualie literally, like, she had to quit her job because she was, like, so sick.
I couldn't do anything.
She couldn't do anything.
I couldn't even talk.
No, that's when she was living in my room in the basement of my parents' house because, like, she literally, like...
was dead.
She was dying. Like, she was dead.
I literally was. My OB had asked me. She was like, wear this, because I had lost 30 pounds in a month. She was like, where this is affecting you so terribly... you have the option to, like, abort.
And you do.
She said you have the option to terminate this pregnancy. And
I was like, so crazy.
No. Why would I go through this hell to not get a reward?
Yeah, that's true.
Why would I do that?
So valid.
It's like, why would I do it again, too? Like, no. We'll just get it done.
Yeah. And then I also am, like, thinking, like, as she's going through this, I'm like, again, why is Qualie getting the shitty end of the stick?
Every time.
Like, come on. I know. What's my biggest problem? I don't have a boyfriend. Courtney, get over yourself. Ew.
My back hurts.
This is what I'm getting to. So we get to this baby shower, okay? And like I said, me, my mom, Marley, all had planned it. We had like decorated it. It was so cute. And like my mom's like her sisters and her sister-in-laws all had stepped up, like had pitched in like with like food
and like the nieces, like your cousins.
Yeah, like my cousins, like everyone, because that's just what you do, right? Like you just like you provide, like your family just provides and like you show up.
Yes.
And like it's so crazy because like Qualie's dad's side show up to everything. If they're invited, they are there. Like
everything. And
they're so supportive and so happy for her. Like they're so good.
Yes.
I literally cannot even tell. Like I don't think I even saw. I don't think your grandma even came to that baby shower. I don't think your mom's mom came.
No, she didn't. My mom's family, both pregnancies, have never reached out to me.
No.
Never.
And so her mom shows up with her sister, and she is there for, I literally kid you not, 10 minutes. And she comes over to Qualie after Qualie has been sick for months.
But also she showed up when we were opening gifts. So she walks in the middle of it.
That's right. And she says, I gotta go. My back just is killing me.
And didn't she make you go outside and help?
Yeah, I had to like do something.
She made you do something. And then she made me leave my baby shower.
To go get a gift or something.
No, because I was pregnant. I think you had to... Who put the wheelchair...
Oh, I did something like that.
No, I think it was Bailey.
Oh, probably.
I think she made Bailey put the wheelchair in the van because I was like, I'm
one thing about me is
that.
I'm like, I'm not doing a damn thing for you, woman.
No.
Because I'm
so she
rude.
leaves. And I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm not. But it just like adds to it that she never got me a gift.
No, but no.
She bought a crib. She bought a bassinet. She bought toys. She bought clothes for her house.
That's insane.
Nothing for me. And keep in mind, I had to quit my job because I was pregnant.
Yep.
We had just bought a house.
Yep.
We were on one income.
Yep.
We were struggling. And then we had a baby in the NICU that racked up a $400,000 bill.
Yep.
So, like, I'm not saying you need to get gifts. I'm not saying anything like that. But I'm just saying, why the freaking heck are you buying shit for your house?
No, that's insane.
But not, like, for me. Like, that, I don't know.
Which, I'm going to ask you a question. How many times has your kids been to her house?
Let me count. Oh, dang it. Can we cut off my fingers? Because none. Neither of them, none.
They've never been.
No.
It's crazy. Like, not crazy. It's a good thing. I would never want you to take them there.
Ugh, no.
But, like, it's just, like, goes to show that, like, what delusional state does she live in where she thinks, like...
Yeah.
Oh, my grandkids are going to come over all the time.
And, like, stay the night?
Absolutely. Why do you need a bassinet?
And a crib.
That's insanity.
And then she would tell me about, like, all the sheets she bought and, like, the... I don't know. I haven't used them, but I think they're called, like, the bumpers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, around.
Yeah.
She'd tell me all about that. And then she definitely had to rub it in my face when she had to sell the shit because... My kid's not coming.
Yeah, we're not going over there.
No.
So that whole thing happens. Mind you, when Qualie has this child, she has to be life flighted. Again, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
And she calls her... Okay. The day that Qualie goes into the hospital to have this child, we're golfing. And Qualie tells me, she's like, the baby hasn't really been moving today a lot. And she was so swollen.
And it was July 24th. And we had an 18-hole tee time at like 1 p.m.
It was blazing hot in Preston, Idaho. I was like, what are...
Where there's no shade.
And no shade. Me and Qualie golfed 9 holes, which pregnant Qualie, like 9 holes was like good. I was like, what are we doing
in that heat?
I was like, what are we doing 18 for? So me and Qualie were like tapped after like, I think actually we did more than 9, but like we did not do the full 18.
We maybe did like 12.
I think we did 12.
But then we were done.
Yeah, so we sat in the cart. Me and her were in the same cart and I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So then we were going to have like a barbecue because it was the 24th. Mm-hmm. Again, my family, we get together for everything.
Which is great.
Which I love.
I love it too. I've never had that and I love it.
Yeah.
It's the best.
And so, but then my mom had like made dinner, but like they hadn't shown up and we're like, where's Qualie and Jake? And then Jake calls my mom and is like, so we're in the hospital. We're at the emergency room. I was like...
Yeah, I was like, well, it wasn't the emergency room because I had been thinking, and I was like, I'm so freaking hungry. Drake was so hungry. We were hangry. We were fighting. Like, not fighting, but on the brink of fighting.
Because you're hangry.
Yes, and I took the dog outside, and I was like, this is so stupid. I'm not even going to worry about it. And then this thought hit me like a shit ton of bricks. And it was like, go. Yeah. And so I was so mad because it felt like somebody, Christopher, was forcing me to do it. Like, I was being told what to do. And so I was so mad. I ripped my phone out of my pocket. I called labor and delivery. I was like, I do not want to be checked in. I just want my blood pressure checked because maybe I have high blood pressure. I don't know. I didn't even like really think about it, you know, but I was like, You just
felt like something was off.
Yes. I said, I do not want to be checked in. I want you to do the most you can do without checking me in. I do not want to pay for this if I'm fine, if I'm just hot, because my OB had been telling me, you're pregnant in July, you're hot, that's why you're swelling, that's why you're getting the headaches. Like,
but this swelling was on another level.
And I was like having the loss of vision and everything. But so then we go, and she takes my blood pressure, and it was insane. It was insane. She said, let's have you sit down for like 20 minutes because it's stressful coming in here. It's also hot. Sit down for 20 minutes. She comes back in, and my blood pressure was like 198 over 140. And she said, you need to be checked in. You can't leave. We need to keep you here for 4 hours. And so I was like, cool.
Gosh.
So Jake texts you guys and he said, we're at the hospital.
Yeah.
And I had also told your mom before. I said, I'm thinking about it. And she goes, well, maybe you're just hot because like I had the headache. I was like, maybe I'm hot. Like
you're
I had
dehydrated.
Yes.
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah. And then they started some medications and stuff like that to help bring my blood pressure down. And I was strictly just sitting down. And then they said, you need to do a urine test. And while we were waiting for the labs to come back and they were having me keep calm, the doctor came in and was like, "Okay, we're going to have you come in and do steroid shots because we've got to get this baby developed because you're 32 weeks. Like, we've got to get this on the, like, show on the road, blah, blah, blah." And then you guys come and we said, "Bring dinner." So
I
you
was
guys...
like, we were, as typical Palais, we're like, they need to eat.
Yes,
And my
especially if
mom
I was
had
having
made
a
a
damn
spread.
baby. The cornbread.
She made
Teriyaki
a spread.
chicken.
Teriyaki chicken. Homemade cornbread. My mom's cornbread is literally to die for. Like, it is so good. Her teriyaki chicken, so good. Like, we had a spread.
Yes. So Courtney, Marley, Sherry came through the plug. The ultimate
we
plug.
came.
They
We're
came
like,
through.
we're coming.
Also, you'll notice in my life, Sherry, Marley, Courtney are always the plug. They show up for everything all the time. So you guys come, we're eating or whatever, and then Dr. Gardner had came in and he said, "You've got to go."
He literally says the words, "So I've sent for a life flight. It's coming to pick you up."
He said they'll be here in 20 minutes.
You could have heard a pin drop.
Yeah. He was like, "You're going to be really popular." And then he told me the protein in my urine was at a 6. And then I remember he was talking to me and Jake and he said, "If you were to go home tonight, you would die in your sleep." And then he looked at Jake and he said, "And you would wake up to a dead wife and your dead unborn baby." And that's when it like hit. Like,
I think it hit everyone.
It was like, oh,
okay.
This is like bad.
So
like really bad.
At this point, like, I'm sitting there like in disbelief because I'm like, is this actually happening? Like, I live now. I don't think at the time I was living. No, I wasn't here. I was living here. I was
think
here.
You were, yeah.
Where I live right now is like right across the street from the hospital. And so I hear the life flight coming in and out all the time. And like, I remember being like, that's so crazy. And then when this happened, I was like, she's getting in one of those. Like, what is happening?
I have helped put so many patients on life
like,
flight,
yeah,
and like you never think it's gonna be you ever.
I'm literally like, what?
Ever. Yeah.
So I remember just being like in utter disbelief that this was even happening. And then Qualie, because at this point, me, my mom, Marley, my dad, I think EJ was there.
No, your dad and EJ weren't because they were with the kids.
That's right.
But EJ was like, "Okay, I'm taking Jake to Ogden." You were like, "What do we need to buy?" You start buying shit off Wayfair.
I do, because I'm like, what do we need for this baby? This baby's coming.
This doctor was like, "You're going to have a baby. That's why we're life flighting you because you're dying.
That's
He's
right.
dying."
I bought like your crib and stuff.
And then he said, "We cannot have a 32-week-old baby in our NICU. We literally cannot have that. You've got to go to McKay where they can have a baby. And also, you're so severely in bad shape that you can't be here."
But so you did. But then at that point, I think my mom was like, "You should probably call your mom and tell her what's going on."
Yeah, and I think maybe she had offered too. I don't remember, but I call her and she answers. She goes, "Hi." And I was like, "Hi." And I had also texted her and told her I was going to the hospital. And she said, "Okay." That's all she said. And I was like, "Okay." And I said, "I'm at the hospital." Obviously they checked me and she goes, "Oh, well, what did they say?" And I said, "They're life flighting me. Me and the baby are dying. Like it's really bad."
Yeah.
It's really, really bad. And it has been really bad for a long time. So it's just getting worse. And she goes, "Oh, well, do you need me to do anything?" This woman was 30 minutes away.
30 minutes away.
With her boyfriend. All snuggled up for the night.
And here's the thing. This is what's mind-boggling to me. Because, like, for example, okay, I had a bad gallbladder in college, like, and it had been like going on for a while.
Yes.
And I had just gotten back from like winter break. Like, it was literally that same night I got back. I woke up with like the worst gall attack I had ever had in my life.
Ugh.
Which, if you've ever had gallstones, like a gall attack, you know my pain. It is so bad. So I call my mom and I'm like, "What do I do?" And she's like, "Go to the ER."
Yes.
Like the closest ER. So we go, whatever. Well, then they're like, "You need to get this out." And so I go to the doctor down there, like the next day, and he's like, "Well, my surgery," he's like, "Do you want to do it down here?" And I was like, "I mean, sure. I'm here. I want this out. It's painful."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, my surgery days are Thursday." I was there on a Wednesday. And he's like, "I could do it tomorrow. I have availability tomorrow to get this out." And so I was like, "Okay." So my mom is like, "I'm coming." And I was like, "Why?" Yeah. I was like, it is like, and this was a year that we got like crazy snow in Utah. Like the roads were terrible. It was like, we got such a bad storm. It was bad. Yes. And I was like, Mom, like, do not like waste, like, I don't want you, it would make me more nervous, like you coming down here, like in the weather, than if I was just to do this.
By myself, yes.
Because it's just like a gallbladder. Like it's.
Yeah.
I was like, my roommates can take me.
Yeah,
like, I'll
literally.
be fine.
I'll be okay.
I kid you not, like my mom still to this day has not forgiven herself for not being down here. And it's like, I told her it was fine. Like I was 18. She was like, I'm terrible. I'm so terrible. Actually, I was 19 at the time, but she still to this day is not like forgiven herself, because I know that if I call my mom, like, and I needed something at any point in time, she'd be like, what, like, where should I be? Just tell me where to be.
Yes.
That's the normal response, not, oh, do you need anything?
Do you need anything? Like, I just told you that I was
That's like if I call my mom and I ask my mom, hey, I have a headache. She'd say, oh, well, do you need something?
Yeah, and I was like, they are life-flighting me. And you had, like, jumped ship and left. Well, you were like, I'm going to meet you there.
I was worried because, like, someone needed to be there.
Yes, and Jake was like, he had to go home and get everything, obviously.
And Jake was, like, in a daze. I think he was just, like, kind of shell-shocked. Like, it was remember when I said earlier that he's not the best in a crisis?
He's not the best.
He's not the best in a crisis. No. One thing about me is like, let's get going.
Yeah.
I typically feel that.
Yeah, let's do something here.
So, I didn't even see them put Qualie on the life flight because I was like, I'm going to get a head start.
And go
down to Ogden and meet you there. And then so that someone is there when you get there.
When I get there. And then they were like putting me on switching me over from the bed to the gurney or whatever. And then Dr. Gardner said, are you going to say goodbye, like, to your wife? And I had avoided looking at Jake the whole entire time. Because if I would have looked at him, like, the fear would have, like, from me, like, shoving it down and ignoring it, it would have all come out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And he came over and he, like, gave me a hug and he just said, bye. And it was, like, so awkward. But I was, like, so thankful that it was so awkward and it was, like, a side hug because they were getting me all ready to go anyways. He couldn't, and they were, like, hurrying, and so he couldn't. And I'm still so thankful that he wasn't able to be, like, I don't think he was, because here's the thing is Jake is an emotional person. Like, he does show emotion. Yeah. Like, he does. But I think in that moment, he literally was just, like, he was in shock. He literally was in shock. There's no other way to explain that. And it was not even from the beginning of the pregnancy, like, the whole pregnancy was shit.
Yeah.
And so we were fine for, like, 10 weeks, and then it wasn't fine anymore. And so it was just kind of, like, again, we're back in, like, this, like, limbo of, like, so what do we do?
Yeah.
And so then I got there and you were there.
Yeah, which I don't know if you knew this, but like I sobbed the entire way. I literally I called my cousin Kimber and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I gotta be strong, but I'm so scared.
Yeah, like, I know. And I was just in this helicopter.
I'm literally your sister-in-law. Like, but like, you're my family. Like, what the heck?
I was just watching the fireworks from the sky. The nurse would tap my leg every so often and go, and I would go, yep, we're good.
Like, it's crazy. Like, it's seriously so nuts. Like, but I think that, like, as much as, like, I have so many issues with your mom, like, one thing that, like, every time I think about these situations, like, it just astounds me at how amazing my family is. Like,
yes,
I don't want to sit here and I don't want to, like, say neener my family's the best, but, like, neener my family is the best.
Get it right.
Like,
put that shit in writing.
It's seriously
signed,
like,
sealed, and delivered.
Again, like, I had every opportunity to be successful, and, like, I know for a fact that, like, I would not be where I am today. I would not be the person I am today without those people in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I
would
mean?
Not. Like, same. Well, and then if we, like, obviously, like, just to brag more about the fam bam, if we fast forward, I had that placental abruption, and Eli's heart rate had dropped to 78. And so I was, like, bleeding out, crushing him. He was dying. So then we did the emergency C-section really quick. And they literally came, like, so quick from Jake, I hope you're listening, from a Snapchat.
Okay.
A Snapchat.
Here's,
I guess I'm a dad now.
Idiot. That's how I found out I had my nephew. Like, are you kidding me? At 32 weeks.
Literally, and your mom had talked to me like before and everything was great and fine. And
here's the thing
it
like,
wasn't.
Qualie was like in the hospital being monitored. You were supposed to be there till you were 35 weeks and then you were going to deliver.
Well, they were going to keep me till I was 34 weeks, so for 2 weeks, because I had him on July 26th. I was supposed to have him on August 6th.
That's
Shout
right.
out to my grandpa. That's his birthday.
Hey, Sam.
My grandpa Sam.
That's the thing that like is so crazy. She was there alone because Qualie's like, it's fine. I'm here.
Well, and
like, I'm going to be here for the next 2 weeks. Jake, go back to work for me.
Yes, I said, go home. So he had ran home early that morning to work, feed the dogs, and then I was hounding his ass because I was like, they keep coming in here to get me to do a NICU tour, and they want you here too. I want you here too because this is where our baby's gonna live.
Yeah,
so get here.
Yeah, weeks.
And so then they were checking on me every 4 hours. So my next check was at 2:00, and so I told Jake, I said, if you are not here by 2:00, so help me God.
Yeah.
I will kill you.
Yeah.
And then 2:00 hit, nurse came in. I said, I'm not feeling too well. Put the monitors on. And then she was like, we've got to go now. And as I got into the OR, Jake had walked into the hospital. So Jake also had no idea.
He had no idea.
He had no idea. He thought that I went on the NICU tour without
pissed
him.
because she's like,
he was
went on the
so
damn NICU tour without me.
Yes, he was so mad. And then I had the baby and everything, and I just, right before they put me to sleep, I said, please tell my husband, someone find my husband. And they said, we will. You're going to wake up to a baby. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And then also I'm lazy, and I haven't changed my name to Qualie. So I'm Qualie Coombs. He's Jake Qualie.
Right.
So they're trying to find me because they obviously wouldn't find him. Anyways, so they're trying to find me walking into all these rooms. The nurse, which was Eli's NICU nurse, and then she told me this story, walked into one. She said, mom's right there. Not the one. Goes into the next one. There was like somebody else in there, but he was like really old. She said, not the one. Then she walks into my room and she sees Jake there on his phone, and she said the rage that hit me from him sitting on his damn phone.
Which
he's sitting there scrolling.
Fair,
yes.
He didn't know.
And that's what she said. She was like, I instantly got so pissed because he was sitting there on her phone and you just had emergency surgery, had your baby. And she said, and then it hit me that he had no idea.
Which Jake said, like Jake's even said this, like she's like, she was a raunch to me. Like
she was
rude.
Not nice. And she goes, what's your name? And he goes, Jake Qualie. And she goes, what's mom's name? And he goes, Qualie Coombs. And she said, you need to come with me. And they start getting down, like walking down the hallway.
And then I think it hit her, right?
Yes. And then it like hit her. She was like, he doesn't know. And she goes, so you're a dad? And he goes, huh? She goes, yeah, your wife had your baby. So they take him in. They're doing the whole like, oh, look how much he weighs. He's 3 pounds. Like we're throwing him around, placing IVs, like intubating, doing all this stuff. And he goes, where's my wife?
Yeah.
And they said, she's right there. And he looked through the little window of the OR door and seen that nasty scene of all the blood because I was bleeding out.
Right.
So there was lots of blood and it was a mess. And he goes, okay. So poor guy. And then he's there when I wake up and I was so high. I was like, hi.
So next thing you know, Jake's sending a Snapchat to the family group chat, Snapchat.
Of Eli.
Guess I'm a dad now. Instantly, I'm trying to call that mofo. He's not answering. I'm calling my mom, like, what's going on? I'm at work because I was working at my old job at this point, and I was like, hello? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I was so pissed because everyone was like, we're going down, like, and
yeah,
I
your
had
mom, dad, and
dumb-
Marley.
I had a dumb work barbecue. Like we do these, like they did these like customer appreciation barbecues where like everyone had to go or whatever. And like I was talking to the lady in charge, and she's like, "Well, I'm sure everything's just fine. Like you don't need to be there." And I was like, "Yes, I do. That's my gal."
Hey, bitch.
Like I was seriously so pissed. And then like finally, like it got to the point where I was like, everything was kind of like dying down.
Yeah, it was just kind of like they had the baby.
Well,
like
no, at the barbecue, and I was like, I walked up to my boss because I didn't like mention this to my boss. I said, "So hey, like my sister-in-law just had like a baby. Like she's 32 weeks. Like he's in the NICU.
It was like
an
emergency."
I said it was like a really like crazy like emergency. He's like, "What are you doing here? Why are you even here?" And I was like,
because this dumb bitch told me I needed to stay for a burger.
Are you kidding me? I was like, what? I could have gone. I was so mad. He's like, what are you doing here?
No.
Go.
Well, and then I go back to like my mom, like we're still in the situation, but that day I had called her that morning and I said, I need you to go to Victoria's Secret and buy me like a larger size than what I wear, like size large of boy short underwear, because I don't want all like the pads, and I also wanted like an underwear that went up over like the monitors on my belly and stuff like that. And so she goes, she buys it, and then I come out of surgery, and I'm like, oh shit, my mom is here somewhere. She was going to be here by like 2:30, and they had him out within like 15 minutes. Like, it was quick. And so I call her, and I was like, where are you? She said, I'm trying to find where you're at. And I said, I just had the baby. She goes, okay, I'll ask around. So then she gets to my room. She also brought lunch for Jake, so Jake's eating. And she brought lunch for me, but I didn't feel like eating. I just came out of surgery. Yeah. She gives me my underwear and stuff, and then she was like, my back's hurting, blah, 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 continues to complain. And then I don't remember at what point, because I remember telling your dad, they must have came when my mom was already there.
I think they overlapped.
Because I remember your dad came up and he was like touching my leg. He's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And I said, did anyone tell you what we named the baby? Like, we filled out the birth certificate days ago. And he goes, no. And I was like, we named him Eli. And then he gets all teary-eyed and sits down.
My dad's a big boob.
Yes. And then, like, we get that whole thing with, like, the flowers. Should we get into that?
Oh, my gosh, you guys. Like, remember how we, like, talked about, like, just angels in your life? Like, this is one that I think of all the time. Like, that is so prevalent. And I'm sorry, this is so lengthy, you guys, but, like, hey, we didn't have a pod last week, so this makes up for it.
Exactly. This is, like, what really, and I don't, like, want to, like, dive deep into it, but this is, like, really what pushed me into, like, leaning into, like, my faith.
Your faith.
And being, like, not, like, I need to be thankful for this, and I need to, like, you know, not like that, but be like, there is someone else pushing hard for you and your babies. Yeah. Like, we need to show a little appreciation and, like, maybe let them know, like, hey, I'm seeing everything that you're giving to me. Yeah. Like, and I see how you're helping me. Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to find this damn picture here.
Basically, so let's just, like, set the scene while you're finding this. Qualie was in the hospital. It was, like, a couple days, right? After you had, or like a day after.
I got life flighted on Sunday and I had him on
Tuesday. So I think it was like that Wednesday. Like, it was like the day after you had him. It had to have been.
When? What are we talking about?
When you got the letter. The note.
No, I got the note as soon as I came out of surgery.
Okay. That's right, because it was on the door, right?
Yes. No, a nurse brought it in, and she wasn't even a freaking labor and delivery nurse. Right. And I have no idea where I was. I must have been on labor and delivery. I don't even know.
You had to have. That's where, I'm sure that's where they took you.
Yeah. And so, anyways, it wasn't even a labor and delivery nurse. It was just a nurse that was walking through the hall.
Yeah. And someone had dropped this, like, flower off with a note.
Well, the flower was peace lilies, which are my favorite flowers. A huge bouquet of them. Right. And then Marley, Sherry, Jake, my mom, and your dad were there. And I was so out of it. And they wouldn't give me pain meds until my blood pressure had come down and until I had come out of anesthesia, because it was still crazy high. Like, it had got to like 200 over like 170. Insane. Like, it had gotten really bad. Yeah. And so this nurse, not even from labor and delivery, brings in this huge bouquet of flowers and this note. And she was like, hey, these are for her. And we were like, oh, thanks. And then the nurse must have asked, because the one nurse was like, well, who got these for her? Like, is it another family member? She said, no, just some lady walking past me. We walking past each other. She stopped and said, whoever is in that room just needs these flowers and this letter. And she wasn't even, like, visiting other people. It was just some lady. It was some lady with a bouquet of flowers. And keep in mind, like, you can't even be like, well, maybe someone else knew. Nobody else knew.
No, this was so sudden, so fast that, like,
yeah, nobody.
Who's gonna have time to order flowers? Like, nobody.
Exactly, especially my favorite flowers. And then
I didn't even know that those were your favorite flowers.
Yeah, we get the, like, flowers and everything in the note. And I remember Marley coming up to me and she said, "This is from your dad." Like, and her and Jake were, like, shocked. They were like, whoa. Like, Jake was starting to get a little bit emotional and everything. So it's like, whatever. But then a couple days later, like, obviously I had read the note. I was like, let me see that. And so the note says, that was with the flowers, I want to let you know you were strong. I felt inspired to get these flowers for you. Let these flowers be flowers of hope and love. I may not know you, but God does, and he wants... Her handwriting's kind of shit. And he was the one that inspired me to get these for you, as well as your angels. He loves you. I hope whatever you are going through, you can have the strength to achieve it. You are loved. You are very strong. And then it says John 14:27, chapter 14, verse 27. And that chapter or whatever is the peace I leave with you is the peace I give to you. Don't let your hearts be troubled and don't let them be afraid.
So nuts.
Yeah. Like, here's your baby. It's okay.
Like, what the heck, you guys?
Yeah. And then I was going to my room and everyone had left to meet me on mom baby, like the family. And my mom is sitting there complaining about her back hurting, and they were trying to place my catheter. And the nurse, so my mom's holding on my bed rail. She's like, my back's hurting. The nurse puts her hand on my mom's hand, and she says, she cannot have pain meds until her blood pressure comes down, until she comes to it a little bit more. She's in a lot of pain. She may not be acting like it, but she's in a lot of pain.
You were just cut.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I have ever even told Jake this, but when everybody left the room, I broke down. I just started sobbing.
Oh my gosh.
I started sobbing, and then they took me to see Eli, and when I get upset about something, I just don't even really want to be around it. And so that's so sad, but it is. And so they took me to see Eli, and I didn't even want to look at him because I couldn't get out of the bed. Yeah. I couldn't touch him. I couldn't do anything. So Jake's holding him. Jake's doing this. And I didn't even want to look at him. The cute nurse. I have so many pictures and videos on my phone of my reaction to seeing him. And you can just tell that I was so upset. And I was trying, you could see the tears coming. And I just didn't want to look at him.
Which I think that growing up in the environment that you did, it didn't promote
you get away from it.
You just avoid.
Yes.
And so I don't know. It's so crazy to me because, you know me, I'm a boob. I get it from both my parents. They both are criers. As much as my dad won't say that he is. Are you kidding me? I still remember the day, Dad, we watched Flicka and you cried. That horse movie.
Flicka.
Yeah. It's just, so I think it was just, very normal for me to, show emotion. It was okay. Yeah. It was, we weren't told to, stop crying. Obviously we were told to stop crying, but, we were never, shamed for showing our emotions. We're not saying that you were, but
usually it was why are you crying?
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like it was oh, come here, what's wrong?
It wasn't embraced for showing your emotions.
Yeah.
It was not like that.
And so it makes sense why you're going through these really hard things. You don't really cry when your dad dies. You don't really cry when this experience. I had known Qualie for years at this point. I had never once seen her cry.
No.
And then I get there finally, and they have to come in and they have to do those dang, I didn't know that they did this, but they push on your stomach basically.
Yeah. And that was bad because it was after my surgery, and I must have had some kind of pain med, but it was not helping.
Well, I don't even think it had kicked in yet, because that's what my mom was like, can you not come back in 20 minutes when it's kicked in? And she's the nurse was I'm really sorry, but no. And I wanted to be
well, this nurse, she was the worst. Her name is Ashley. She's probably 100 pounds, blonde hair. You can see her tracks. Ashley, I will find you and I will beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she's I have to push on your belly, and I was in so much pain. I lost it. I was trying so hard not to cry.
You know in movies how you see a kid's chin quiver and lip
that was me.
I literally was this gal right here is the saddest crier I have ever witnessed in my life. Yeah. I was oh my gosh.
Yeah, and she looks at me and she goes, do you want oxycodone? And I said, yes, please. And I think Jake said, yeah. She does.
Bring it.
And then I think that's when your mom was or somebody, I don't remember who said, but was
said it in the room. But was trying to advocate for Qualie, being can you give it to her and then do it? And
then let it kick in and then come back. And then
no.
Yeah. And I was whatever. And she was I'll go get it. And I don't think they ever waited for it to kick in. No, they didn't, because you guys watched them.
I watched them do it. Yeah. I was
she
hello?
Came, she brought it in here and in there, and I took it and she did it. It was so painful.
Well, and the other thing is I was most people when they're getting that done have had an epidural.
Yeah.
So they don't feel it, really.
No, it does not, with the second baby, even the spinal, it is not as terrible as that was.
Right.
That was the worst pain.
So all I'm saying, I think we have to end this at this point. But good news, everybody. Qualie is available to be on the podcast again. So if you enjoyed this episode and would like to hear more of her dynamic with her lovely mother, because believe it or not, there's more. There's more.
There's more. And we also had another baby. Yeah. And so there is more ways for her to let you down.
Oh, and does she ever?
But
here's what I want you guys to take away from this episode.
Yeah.
If you think you have it bad, no, you don't.
There's always somebody that has it worse.
And I'm not saying that you can't be sad for yourself, but like it's also, there's a time to dwell and there's a time to move on. And if you've been dwelling, move on.
Move the frick on. And take all of your sadness and all of your despair and everything and turn it into motivation to get that shit done. Yeah. That's what I did. Because I was like, my dad would be, well, he doesn't have a grave. He has an urn. My dad would be rolling in his urn if I sat here and I cried over him all the time. He would be like, he would smack me up the side of the head and be like, why are you crying?
And I also think that like you are the captain of your own life.
Yes.
You get to dictate how you move on and how you handle different situations.
And how you react to things. And you also, it doesn't matter if they're family. You get to choose for yourself. Because I was always like, my dad died, she's my mom. But you can choose the relationships that you have. And if they're bad for you, cut that bitch off.
Well,
get rid of that shit.
I really do believe that like we've seen it with your mom, Katie's dad, my grandpa. Like these are all people that have not been serving us well.
Yes.
They've not been doing anything for us except for giving us more grief and problems
and stress
and you don't need that. There's no reason for you to keep that in your life.
Even if you're thinking like, well, like she does this for me or he does this for me or like I did this to them. No. Get over it. Do not do that. Get it out of your life because it's not ever going to grow and blossom into something else. The roots are going to rot. They're going to go bad.
Wow.
And that shit is going to come crumbling down.
That's holy.
Yeah, get that shit out.
Go
get your gardening tools out. Dig that shit out.
Guys, that was a great example. That is some wisdom. I hope you take that and you run with it. Please. Take that to the bank and cash it, if you will.
ASAP right now.
Like,
go.
Anyway, all we're trying to say is you can. You can do it. It is possible.
Yes, you can do all the hard things and it might be shitty, but like my dad always said, life's a shit sandwich and you gotta eat it.
Yeah.
Just get over it and get it done with.
Christopher K.
Coombs.
There
life's
you go.
A shit sandwich and you gotta eat it.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all we got to say for this week's podcast. If you'd like Qualie back on the pod, please let us know. We'll comment on our Instagram. Yes. Leave us a comment on Spotify. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Like the video on YouTube. Do all the things. Let us know. Send us a DM. I want to know if anybody else has like an experience with someone disappointing you in your life that plays a massive role. Like a mom, sister, cousin.
Yes, anybody.
I guess cousins don't really play a massive role.
Well, even like a best friend. Anything that has affected you personally and you as a person.
I want to know because I think the best thing that you can do is be as open and honest about it as possible.
And not even just for yourself, but for others. To be like, okay,
and
like
also,
I'm not the only one.
Show up for the people that matter to you.
Yes.
Show up.
Yes, because my mother may disappoint me, but she's not going to disappoint my children.
No.
Never will I ever give her the chance to do that. And I'm not, because we cut her off. We're done.
That's a preview for the next episode.
Part off.
2. You've been cut off. Oh, anyway, like I said, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
I don't know. Like I said, Kaytee hasn't had her baby yet, but she is on the brink, you guys.
She's close.
So send a prayer. I'm going to try it. We'll see if Kaytee wants to post a picture of her child. Still don't know the gender.
Yes.
And we'll see what she says about that. But
we will.
Follow our Instagram. Tell your friends.
Tell your family. Put it on your story.
Anyway, shout out moms and dads that are important and great out there and doing the best they can.
So. And people that step up when they have they don't need to.
Yeah.
No obligation and they just do it.
Yep. So with that, this has been another episode of the Reel It In podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Later.